Friendship supreme. Friendship supreme. Finding the geek within.
Hey everybody, my name's Michael.
My name's Cleve.
And welcome to an exciting episode of Friendship Ship.
I said it. Let me say it again. Okay.
Give it,
Supreme.
we're the podcast that dares to ask. You had your bootios today?
I wonder if they're any good.
I want my own cereal. You know what wasn't good?
Is that the dream now?
You know what wasn't good is the Funko cereal. People always said it was not bad, and it was terrible.
I thought you were gonna say the Lucios.
I think I bought a box but never ate them, so they're probably bad.
Good. They were green. What flavor is that?
Applejack?
Artificial.
Isn't Applejack
Artificial
greens?
flavor. More orange with some greens in there.
Oh.
I don't know why that makes it different to me, but it does.
Yo.
Instead of just one, even Fruit Loops are different colors.
I remember Fruit Loops being so much sweeter than they are. Because I was like, I really wanted something sweet. And I was like, I'll just make a bowl of Fruit Loops. Because I didn't really have any sugary things around.
Very possible. I mean, they change these formulas all the time.
Yeah. I just remember thinking.
You had them when they were unhealthy.
Man, this is going to be good. I haven't had cereal in forever. But Cinnamon Toast Crunch, still, don't worry. Just coated in sugar.
You know what you're getting out of that one. Hey, do you want some sugar? We use Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's.
I'm telling you, man, I had the Frosted Mini Wheats.
Yeah.
They still hit the right spot, just enough.
Katie likes bran cereal. Come on. But that's not what today's episode's about. How did we get there? Who knows? What's today's episode about, Cleve?
You asked me about bootios.
Oh, that's fair.
Today we are discussing the New Days Fantastic Ride TV program documentary series, but it's only one episode.
Kind of like a behind the sines is really what it felt like.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
I thought about going to watch. So it's about them hosting WrestleMania, which is the first time that I think
an active roster.
Yes. And I think multiple.
Yeah, I think so too.
WrestleMania,
which is fair because they're kind of a group.
Yeah, you couldn't just get one of them. I thought about going to watch that WrestleMania, and then I was also like, what was that, 3 hours? Probably not gonna watch that.
Oh,
if I can be honest.
I think it's longer than 3 hours. That's nuts. Those events are crazy. So 2017's WrestleMania out in Orlando. They were the first active roster team or persons to host it. And as they mentioned the previous year, Dwayne The Rock Johnson hosted it. So big deal to follow up Dwayne.
Yeah, in good company. Well, depending on who you ask and who you ask that. And 2017, that was some good company.
And then he did
a little bit now.
And then he did Rampage. I've heard good things about Rampage. I hear good things about all of his movies.
There's no way you heard good things.
It's usually from my mom, though, and that's not fair.
Oh.
My mom was recently in town, and she's like, God, I love Dwayne. And I'm like, he's just not hitting it anymore right now.
You know what? It's a sad day when the People's Champ is not so much the People's Champ anymore.
And,
I thought that man could do no wrong, and he's been just killing it on the other side of what I thought was possible.
Maybe we just don't put our fingers in so many cookie jars. Maybe we just
now it's everything that bothers me, like live action Moana. Everything just is like, oh God.
Yeah.
The Maui thing, not Maui, the Hawaii thing.
Mm-hmm.
I said Maui, but I don't realize Maui's the name of the character. With him and Oprah, and just the wrestling fans are starting to hate him, and that's where he goes to be safe when things are going bad out there in the real world. He goes back to wrestling.
Yeah. New Day consists of Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E. I don't know Big E's actual name.
It's Big E.
My
Don't worry
apologies.
about it.
But what I will say is I love the swagger of a big man. And then just
Tor Ewen, Ewen. And then his first name is Ettor.
Big E.
Big E, baby. That's why you go by Big E.
Because watching that man go down that big ass ramp, trying to follow that bicycle, and just the way he had the strut about him was absolutely brilliant. I loved it.
Fucking sweating, trying to keep.
I loved so much of it. So this was also the first year that wrestling really did a collaboration with video games as well, aside from WWE's game. And that was Final Fantasy 14, which I believe was just coming out at the time. And
And they have the ideal hosts to do it because, like, you know, Woods also has his own channel, and yeah, the pairing was just as perfect as it could be.
yeah,
for that.
yeah, Xavier's been like a huge advocate and ambassador for gaming in general. He has his own YouTube channel where he brings other wrestlers to play video games with him. They have all kinds of they're nerdy in general, right? They're kind of goofy guys. They're goofy fellas. And
Yeah, they are.
I always enjoyed these types of characters in wrestling, right? I always liked the funny, silly guys. Do you remember what was the Latino guy's name with the sock puppet? No, he might have been Italian. Dang it! Who was his name?
Mankind?
No, it wasn't a sock puppet though. It was like Dang it!
Give me more.
I wish I could. He was goofy as hell.
Okay.
And it was like a like a hand snake that he'd make.
I see a man, but I can't find his name. But I think that's the man you might be referring to.
Gotta be.
Santino.
Santino, thank you. Is he Italian?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Santino, Marella.
Santino was always brought in for like the most random things to like really change the mood of how the world was. And I miss those types of characters. Like that's my jam, right? Those are the characters I like.
Tino Morella's Cobra Charming is WWE's worst spot of the year.
Okay,
the world did not take to it apparently.
He has a soft spot in the world of wrestling because he just was goofy, right? And so I always enjoy in the wrestling world when there's people that don't take themselves too seriously. I was not a fan of The Undertaker or Kane, or Brock Lesnar. Like I didn't like those guys. Those were not the people I enjoyed. I enjoyed people that were larger than life characters. But anyway, so I enjoy these characters. So I like the personalities that they've created and the personas.
And I think it makes a difference, and it's in anything, right? In movies and TV shows, it makes a difference when it seems like people are just enjoying themselves while they do what they're doing. And these three are, to me, maybe the closest I've seen of somebody just being themselves and having a good time.
It 100% feels genuine, which is always nice. You want that from something like this, right? Is that genuine feel? That's how you sell the magic, right? That's how you make it a thing. And they seem to be a crowd favorite. Now, it's been a long time since I've had my finger on the pulse of the wrestling world as far as what other wrestling fans feel.
Yeah.
But in crowd reception and stuff, it seems that they are still quite popular.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you don't. I mean, unless you turn heel, like, yeah, they're going to be a favorite for a while. And why would you when they're such big favorites at this point?
Right.
Just three guys fucking getting together and hip thrusting. So much
They
hip
like to
thrusting
hit
in
thrust.
21 minutes. This doc's only 21 minutes. So much hip thrusting in 21 minutes.
Yeah, you really should watch it if you like wrestling in general. 'Cause it's fun, right, to get to see behind the scenes, and then if you ever wanted to believe that this is how they are behind the scenes, like, you get to see that, them walking around the back in the locker rooms and stuff getting ready. They're just dorks, and that's fun.
I also think it's amazing how much the other wrestlers really loved it. Like,
And love them, right?
yeah,
It's good to have that personality on your team.
mhm,
You have the serious people, but then you have the people that can bring light to it. I think most recently I can think of um the Rangers had he's like a third string catcher, and I'd see him in the dugout all the time. I'm like, why is this guy always there? Like, he's third string. He's not going to be
rude.
like, there's not a likelihood he's going to be playing. He should be in the bullpen right now helping warm up pitchers. And apparently, he is just that personality. He's the guy that gets everybody happy and excited and turns that funk
Morale,
around,
yeah.
right? And it just makes a difference.
We used to, when we worked together, we used to pride ourselves on being like the morale boosters.
Yeah,
If we're not good at our job, what the least we're going to do is make sure everybody else is having a good time so they can be good at their jobs.
true. And then that company sucked our souls out.
They did. Not in a way we would like.
But it was fun getting to watch them work with the developers from Final Fantasy as well, because then they got to design their own costumes that went along with the theme.
You know more about the Final Fantasy world than I do. And it might be a lot, but
Yeah.
you still are
Sure.
well ahead of what I would know. How did you feel about like the designs and the costumes and how they looked and all that?
I thought it was cool. I think it was because I want to say 14 is the online one.
Chocobos are all I know.
Chocobos are all I know. Moguls are are my favorite, obviously, and you know them from Kingdom Hearts. Your favorite thing?
I've pushed that out of my brain.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure.
The
Yeah,
little chubby things.
it's the little tiny white teddy bear with the
Yeah.
antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so 14 was the online, like the World of Warcraft style Final Fantasy, and so it was like a create your own character, and so they look very close to the classes. I mean, they were very vibrant. I loved that Xavier was like, "I'm gonna have my hair look like Cloud."
Yeah.
And then had that hairdresser sitting there styling his hair, and it was very larger than life. I enjoyed Trombone.
Yeah, I was like, which one is it?
His trombone has a name, Francesca.
Yeah, because he thought it was a hot name. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of vibe I need.
Yeah.
The reason I picked to watch this one is because I've always been interested in them. I've always assumed that I would like them. I just am not gonna pick up when they came in. I'm not gonna pick up where they are. You know what I mean? It's so hard to.
Yeah.
Like with wrestling, you really have to have a starting point, or you just get lost in it all.
Much like comic books.
Word.
And it's interesting. So, every February we do some form of tribute, I suppose, to Black creators or artists or athletes, and I think that as far as and correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I don't get a final say in this. But as far as athletes go, it's tough for really any athlete, but black athletes specifically, to be fun spirited, to be silly, because then they're labeled as juvenile, or like they don't take the game
They don't take it
seriously.
seriously. Yeah.
Because we saw that with Jamal Williams. We see that with
Who's the guy from San Diego?
Fernando Tatis Jr. is who he's talking about, who wants to have fun and enjoy the game, and the media grilled him for it. That's what I mean, though. Like, you can't have fun with it without being ostracized for it, because you don't take it seriously, or you're not respecting the game or whatever. So it's fun.
God forbid I play this child's game as an adult and get paid millions for it,
Right.
and enjoy myself.
So I think it's nice to see people being silly or having fun, and I go back to Jamal Williams only because he's played for the Detroit Lions. He's on the Saints now. He's a giant nerd, and gave a lot of young black kids the hey, you can also like anime and be nerdy and like Pokemon cards, because growing up, correct me if I'm wrong, you were like, you didn't do that shit.
You were seen weird if you did both things.
Right.
Because you had to be in a box, and you couldn't be outside of that. You couldn't have more than one interest. It's wild.
So I think it's important to have those representations, because if I look back in wrestling, I don't recall that existing. Now, I was a big fan of Harlem Heat growing up as a kid. My brother and I pretended we were Booker T and Stevie Ray as children, and
I always need pictures of that from somewhere.
just anytime we were on the trampoline, dog. That was like my favorite wrestling team when I was growing up, but there was no fun, silly characters out there like that, and so it's nice to see that now.
Yeah. So WrestleMania, massive stadium. I don't think I've ever seen it. Like, I think when they're behind the scenes and you see like there's just all the empty seats, I think you really realize how massive it is.
Right.
Massive long ramp going all the way down to the ring. How do you think you would have done on that bike?
Terrible.
Going down that ramp
would have gone down immediately.
God bless him to be able to drive that thing down.
Every once in a while I could see his hand shaking. I'm like, God, dude, it's gonna fall. It's not
I'm
good.
sure you're trying to like, you're trying to wave to the crowd. You're like, oh shit.
At first I saw him talk, like he's moving his lips. I'm like, he's probably just talking to himself, like, keep it steady, keep it steady. He's like talking to the crowd, trying to pump him up. I'm like, no, you two, that's what you two do. I gotta keep myself alive.
I love in this that they were like, the most important things on here is making sure the Final Fantasy stuff and these breaks. Like, these breaks need to be on point. They cannot mess up.
Yeah, guys, make sure to check this documentary out. It's called The New Day, A Fantastic Ride. It's on Peacock Plus. Like I said, it's just a quick 30-minute kind of window into the life of New Day. It was fun, cute, adorable. These guys are a lot of energy, exciting. And, maybe check out Up, Up, Down, Down. Like, they need our promotion. They actually paid us to do this whole thing.
Yeah, we're partnered with them.
We're partnered with them. Don't ever mention it to them, but they definitely sponsor us, and we sponsor them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I did. If you guys want to find more content about us, we are streaming and live and have content all over the place. Honestly, it's ridiculous where we're at this point.
We're so reachable.
You know what? We're probably in that book group your mama talks about. Honestly.
I got an OnlyFans. I'm on LinkedIn.
Don't look for us on LinkedIn. Please don't talk to us on LinkedIn. That's where we put all our sad depression. Anyways, I've been Michael.
This is Cleve, and
Don't be sour. Enjoy the power.